Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking. Well, this week we've got at least four central banks. In fact, there's a fifth central bank. I think the Norwegian bank is meeting, but those that might move the markets, the bigger markets, are of course the US, the Fed meeting, the ECB's meeting, and UK Bank of England meeting. There's the markets at the majors. So let's just bring the form up there. Let's have a look at the calendar then. So we haven't got anything till Wednesday in terms of, and then we've got, so Monday, nothing at all in terms of key news here, risk. So the risk is nothing happening. Wednesday we've got Fed funds at 7 p.m. so there is the risk of the volatility that sits around that, in particularly the statement and then press conference. So we could see some quite large volatility. There's it's how well they can nullify something that they've already suggested they might have to do, just to dampen things down a little bit. So we'll see what happens anyway. 7 p.m. Then at on Thursday we've got both the Bank of England and the ECB. So two on Thursday there. Again, the ECB will be kicking the can down the road. The Bank of England is not expected to increase the rate that it originally was expected to do. So the Bank of England rate come 16th December is 100% left alone effectively, and of course the probability of the Fed meeting again very low there. So low potential of any changes this week, but we'll talk about those each day leading into the day itself. For now though, let's have a look then as I say, today we've got nothing there. Let's have a look at the bond market. The moment, well, 49 is so early. It's just kicking into play here future wise. It's pretty low still, but it wouldn't take long to get up to 1.6, but it's in that sort of mid area, so we'll leave that for now. Okay, that's the news. Let's look at the technicals then, starting off looking at the euro dollar as ever. And well, Friday did manage a bit of an update, but is it holding on? Not really. It's already given what looks like 2/3 of that back this morning, and it's range bound, and we could see this just carry on being range bound through to the end of the week, with the central banks reporting at least past into Thursday. So range bound price action, certainly on the bigger time frame. Shorter time frames, okay, it's running off at the moment, but I think it might be a case of struggling for positions at times. The pound, well, ended up a solid day on Friday. Once again, it's given half of that back, maybe a bit more overnight. You barely see it. It's actually, it did actually manage to put a higher low in at the end of the last week, and it started sort of showing the cracks in the downside. This of course could be all changed, and we could see a sort of a positive morning come out of this. It's broken through a little bit, maybe a bit oversold in the previous hour there, but either way, we'll see how they come. I mean, they both, the euro and the pound, could get a bounce back. The euro just looks in that tighter range. The pound at least has something there, but well, break to its S1 or lower would have me looking away from any potential upside. But yeah, bouncing around there. There's no expectation of interest rate increases, so that's priced in at the moment. So there we are. Dollar yen, well, just range bound. It just continues to be range bound here. Nothing I can really consider doing with that. Aussie dollar, now the Aussie dollar was in a half decent trend, but got into a decent bounce last week. I'm still wondering whether it will come back to its monthly pivot, consolidating around its I say current highs. If you look at it on a 4-hourly basis, it's consolidating on its current highs, but it's got this weekly pivot below. May just be a drawback, in which case it'll give it a lower high and just look a bit on the softer side. But choppy for sure, and coming down to the hourly time frame, running through Friday, particularly through the afternoon. They're really choppy into the evening, and then we've seen it once again. Bit of price action recently, but we've seen these across all the markets. It's whether or not they'll continue. Difficult to really assess too much there. Finally here, the Canadian dollar. Well, the Canadian dollar was doing okay until, well, central bank didn't really do it a lot of favours, and we've seen this sort of bounce and turn there. For now, maybe looking the potential of break of the highs here would see further upside. It just looks a bit softer, higher lows, higher highs. It's a little bit cleaner, although on Friday it did get into a horrible mess there. What's stopping it getting into a horrible mess again today with no data coming out? So it could be a lot of patience. Gold, let's have a look at gold then. Gold consolidating. It's a story of the markets. We're leading into sort of very key news this week, and it may be that people are just keeping flat until the data's out. There's quite some logic in that. Gold, as I say here, potential for the pitch back up. It's a mess. There we go. Oil, sorry, just pressing the button waiting for something to happen. Oil picked up on Friday, but and it's picked up this morning at the moment. Again, it's last week it was a rangy bound week. Largely it started off pretty good on the Monday there. Got a weekly pivot untouched below. That could be a bit of a draw, in which case it could just give it its range. So that's towards the bottom of the current range. If it starts selling off, well, there's the potential target. Daily pivot and weekly pivot sitting below there. Bearish engulfing at the moment. Key reversal bars, they're often called. So there you are. Okay, that's that. Let's go and have a look elsewhere. He says, quickly pulling this back in. Let's look at the. So I'm just looking at other markets here. That's oops, don't want that button. So first we'll just have a run through the cryptos over the weekend. Oh, there's a lot of red there. Okay, Saturday, Sunday, managed to pick up at the consolidation, and the sellers are back in this morning. Either profit taking or being squeezed out and pushed. So Bitcoin coming off, already given back its gains from yesterday. Ethereum likewise, it's bounced off the 100, the daily 100 again. Just to me looking like a hard and potential case of further downside here. I've got the cursor on that sort of 38.99 area, 39 area. A break of that would be even more bearish there. Likewise, Ripple seen a couple of positive days over the weekend. Already given back yesterday's gains and moving pretty much a third of the way on the previous day. So still look soft to me. So not done anything to want me to be looking to buy them. The indices, let's have a look through the indices. He says, what's happened overnight? Asian session, well, gap up, and well, doji bar we've ended up, and CSI seems to be flying along at the moment. You can't get in the way of it. It's been pushing up and, as I say, setting the tone there. The Nikkei, well, not so obvious. Well, it is up on yesterday, but it gapped up and then closed down on its open. So another one of these ugly red bars, which almost should be green, but because it's up on the previous day. But anyway, there you go. It's down on the day. More importantly, FTSE this morning 801. Yep, we're off and running. So FTSE's opened up there positively so far. Still not far away from its original highs, etc. If we see everything else selling, we could see this pushing up a bit more. DAX off this morning, first thing here, and CAC quite similar, but I do wonder if they will hold back. Where actually CAC's already sold. Is the FTSE going to follow it? I just liked the fact that it had another shove up the FTSE, but maybe it hasn't got the legs to it. S&Ps have this morning. They're already towards previous highs and the all-time highs, not far away from the all-time highs now. Talked about this last week. The S&P certainly leading the way. I don't necessarily trust the move, but it's moving that way and you can't avoid it. Christmas rallies, we'll see how much they'll come into play. The Nasdaq struggling around that 16,425 area. There's plenty of resistance, plenty of selling coming into the area, struggling at the moment. A break through that area, well then it can only be a bit more positive, and maybe highs will be chased after. Dow, positive morning start, the futures here, but I don't know, the way it's shaping up at the moment looks like it could be short-lived, but we'll see how these progress. So overall, European markets look a bit iffy. US markets look a bit more positive and nearer the all-time highs, and we could see it pushing up that way. Okay, silver very much like gold. Citigroup, as you're still looking at it, I'm sure, Christina, there we go. It's as I said last week, it certainly wasn't a buy, and it's carried on. It did have a Friday daytime. I said I'd look at this especially, and off it's gone again. So looking pretty poor there. It's the thing of catching knives, as they say. Silver, I will look at silver on my other machine for you just briefly then. But actually silver marginally looking a little bit more bullish on the lower time frames. Higher time frames, I look at lower highs, still looking a bit on the softer side, and well, consolidated where it is at the moment. Lower highs, lower lows all the way through, so right down to the 60-minute where you've got this sort of higher lows coming through. Maybe this is a trend change, but we do have the daily pivot, which is a draw below, and maybe it will get down there and follow through and copy the others. There you go, I'll leave it there. Citigroup indeed. Yeah, don't be buying it. Right, that's it. Have a great day's trading. I wish you all the best, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.